In this video, I'm going to share with you the 10 most common questions that I get asked in my DMs every single day by parents. I'm going to share with you college camps, showcases, travel ball, and everything that you're dealing with right now. If you stick till the end of this video, I'm going to even share with you a blueprint on what you should be doing in this college recruiting process. And as always, if you like this type of content, make sure to check out the triple play down below in the description. All right, well, let's get started. These are going to be the 10 most common questions that I get asked in my DMs just about every single day. And I have been handling all my DMs recently, and it's been a lot to say the least. So, question number one, is my child ready? And again, this is all going to be tailored for sophomores, juniors, and seniors in high school, and especially talking to you, the parent. Because this is where you guys are at. You guys are doing the research. Your player may or may not be doing the research necessary. So you're kind of curious, like, is my child ready for this recruiting process? And my short answer is maybe, right? Because everyone comes to me, especially in different stages in their college baseball recruiting process, right? And you're maybe a sophomore, your son's probably a sophomore, maybe your son is a senior. Those two situations are dramatically different as far as how quickly we need to get on to things, right? Seniors are going to be, slamming that panic button, and sophomores are going to have a little bit more time to prepare. That way, you don't catch yourselves really on your heels too much. So, is your child ready as far as metrics, as far as the confidence that it takes to attend one of these showcases or college camps? We'll cover all of that in these next couple of questions. So the short answer is maybe, right? Because your son's probably a stud. Maybe he's not though, right? Maybe we can improve some of his metrics. Maybe your perception of where your son is at right now maybe is a little bit inflated, and that is completely okay. And that is something that happens just about every single day. I have conversations with families, and sometimes the parents believe way too high on where the player is currently at. And that's okay. That's, your guys' job to believe and have confidence in your son. The problem with that is sometimes it creates a false sense of reality, right? We need to be real with ourselves, and that's one of the key components of really joining into my academy. And some things that we like to teach is really that self-analysis of where we are currently, point A, obviously where we're trying to go, point B, right? And if we can't realize where we're currently at, it's going to be a very, very uphill battle to be able to fix those problems that we're facing, right? So moving on, the next question is going to be showcase versus a college camp. All right, so college camps are very, very common to attend. Showcases are great as well. I attended both throughout my college recruiting process when I was a high school, really freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Throughout all years of my high school baseball career, I was attending showcases and college camps. I probably went to just about the same amount, probably like 3 showcases and 3 college camps. Occasionally, if there was a local college camp and we had a free weekend, my parents did an incredible job when I was growing up and supporting me and in my journey. But so maybe we would do like local ones, and I'm not really counting that. I'm talking about like my family acknowledging that this is an investment of not only time and effort, but also the finances as well to be able to attend one of these college camps. For example, we rarely stayed at a hotel just to save money on expenses. But I remember, and I'll never forget, we invested money to be able to attend a University of Virginia college camp. And that college camp was a great one. I got to understand the coaching staff. I got to see the facilities. Unfortunately, we didn't even really get to play in the stadium because they were doing some renovations. So we went to like this massive turf field, and it wasn't really the same feel of being on a field. But either way, got to understand the college coaches, their ideas, their philosophies. I got to shake their hands. And obviously, later down the road, going closer to my senior year, I was able to land an offer from University of Virginia, which was one of my top 3 schools. Another instance is my family and I sacrificed the time to drive 22 hours to Houston, Texas, to be able to go to Rice. Rice was one of those schools that ever since I was a really young kid, they had just one of those historic programs of being very, very good. They actually went to the World Series, being a very like underdog type team. And for whatever reason, I was just really interested in their name. I think it was the college baseball video game when I was a kid. I was like, oh, Rice? That's kind of funny. Later, I found out they had aerospace engineering. They had a great baseball program. They had a beautiful campus. So I was intrigued. So we drove 22 hours to be able to attend that camp. Again, got to understand the college coaching and staff, got to see the facilities, got to see the campus. I started to visualize myself on campus as a student athlete. These things are valuable. So that's what a college camp is going to provide you and your player is that visualization of what's to come. Can't stress this enough because the mental game obviously is something that I preach a lot of. To be able to visualize yourself at a certain university, to be honest with you guys, some universities I just told myself absolutely I could not do it. For example, I grew up in Florida. I went to Sarasota High School in Sarasota, Florida, and I just knew I did not want to go to university in the state of Florida. The only one that I was slightly interested in was University of Miami. University of Florida was somewhat interested in me. Florida State was somewhat interested in me, and I kind of told myself I was like, you guys, I really don't even want to go to a visit with you guys because I have already created that list, right? So these college camps that you're going to be going to, sometimes you can do local ones, which is great. I did go to University of Florida college camp, and I think that was the third one. And that was more because it was a weekend where we were free. It was a day camp, so we literally drove at like 5 o'clock in the morning up to Gainesville, and then just for the day, basically drove back. Right, very exhausted, but again, got to see the coaching staff, and that's actually an area where I didn't feel comfortable moving forward. So that's something that I was able to acknowledge and move forward from. Showcases on the other side of things, that's where we talk about like PBR, Perfect Game, Baseball Factory, just to name a few. Obviously, there's more and more, coming out of the woodworks. I would stick to those three because they have a good reputation, and then they also build out a profile for you. That profile is going to be something that these college coaches will look at when you start sending out emails, and it's a reputable source. Yes, you can create a profile on Facebook if you'd like, but you're going to be inputting all that data. You could lie about everything. Perfect Game, they take care of the metrics, inputting all that data. You could lie about everything. Perfect Game, they take care of the metrics. That way, it's very the source is trusted to these college coaches. All right, so that's something that's really, really huge in this whole process. So that's your quick little glimpse of showcases and college camps. Obviously, the showcase side of things, you'll do more metric-based training. College camps, more relationship, facilities, campus, location. Things of that nature. All right, so moving down the list, question number 3, do showcases or camps guarantee scholarships? And this is a good question because a lot of parents feel like, oh, okay, well, I'm busy with work. I'm doing this. We don't have time for this. Okay, well, if we go to a University of Tennessee college camp, I want a guarantee that my son's going to land a college commitment. That's not the case, right? These college showcases, these college camps, definitely you want to go to the right one first and foremost because some college camps are just open to the public. It's not what you want. You want a little bit more of a prospect camp guided for those sophomores, juniors, and seniors in high school. Kind of that last look for these college coaches to be able to, evaluate where they need to fill their gaps, right? Because obviously they're trying to build out a roster. Maybe they need a shortstop and a first baseman, but they're all set for outfielders, right? And if your son's an outfielder, maybe if we're able to do that research in the forehand, that's going to be helpful down the road, right? If we do that research, guys, an ounce of preparation is worth a pound of post, right? If you guys have gone to college camps before, showcases, and you've realized that the exposure that you expected or the communication from college coaches wasn't there, more than likely you didn't do enough prep work, right? You expected all that to happen on the end, right? It doesn't work that way. If we do that ounce of prep work, it's going to be worth of a pound on post, right? So they do not guarantee any type of scholarships, showcases, or college camps. But I've known a lot of my buddies that get offers when they go to a college camp. Showcases are a little bit different because showcases are going to be a little bit separated. But again, that's going to be where you initiate some conversations potentially, shake some hands, especially if you ball out. Maybe these college coaches will invite you to their campus to see the facilities and get an overall tour. So moving down, is it worth it? Is it worth the investment? I know that you guys are probably interested in, are these showcases actually the real deal? Are these college camps the real deal, or are they just a money grab? So I'm going to tell you this right now. I love volunteer assistant coaches in college. At the D1 level, if you do not know, volunteer assistant coaches are exactly that. They are volunteers. They do not get paid a salary one bit, right? And these are typically the fourth or fifth coach on the coaching staff, right? You typically have a manager, you have a recruiting coordinator or like assistant coach, and then you have like a pitching coach, and then you'll have like that volunteer assistant. Again, that volunteer assistant typically is a guy maybe fresh out of pro ball, maybe fresh out of their college career, and they just know they want to get into college, and this is a good stepping stone. A lot of the times, these volunteer assistants are the first base coach, and this is a great resume builder for any college baseball program, right? Or for their career if they want to coach in college any day. So understand that in high school, there's going to be two separate types of camps, right? There's going to be the open, free for all, and I've heard of some universities. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but certain universities will spam out letters of college camps, right? If you are receiving one of those, and one of them's a very, very big football school, if that alarms you and you know exactly what I'm talking about, good. Because I've had many conversations where one question I love to ask is, hey, have you gone to any college camps yet? And typically it's like, yeah, maybe one or two, but we've gotten letters and invites to this big football school to go to their, college camp. In reality, that is going to be a complete free-for-all. That is going to be where they just try to make some money, guys, and that's completely cool. Again, I love these volunteer assistants. They do have to get paid in some way or another, right? And these college camps are the way that they're able to make a living, okay? Now, with that being said, there are these prospect college camps where it is for those juniors and seniors. Again, these college coaches want one last look. Those are going to be the ones that you want to, dive into. So the other ones, are they worth it? If you're just trying to have fun in the summertime, maybe you have a weekend off, that's going to be fine. And I've gone to a couple of those camps before where it was more of a fun camp. The Naval Academy was one of those where it was mostly guided for like middle schoolers and like freshmen in high school. It wasn't for those serious prospects, right? And I enjoyed that camp. I also went to a University of Miami camp when I was like 10 years old. Again, a very, very fun camp, very memorable as far as the experience goes, right? But when I said earlier, as far as the college camps that I went to up here, the three that I went to were like prospect camps for University of Virginia, Rice, and then University of Florida, right, for the higher talent. Showcases can feel like a scam, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, because you don't do a lot, right? It's more or less to build out that profile that you're going to get on the website. It's more or less to get some video, professional video done, and then it's also great to see where you stack up among the competition. That's what's really great about Perfect Game right now. I don't know what kind of membership you have to buy into or this or that, but you get to see all these crazy metrics. You also get to see what percentile you are. So these are the things that help you in the whole process of understanding where you're currently at. Again, that point A. It's super, super important. So is it worth it? Both of them, like college camps, showcases, is the investment worth it? Absolutely. Yes, it is absolutely worth it, because the more exposure you get to other competition, it's not even to these college coaches, you want to see where you stack up against other players, right? And that's one of the most important things that you'll get out of a college camp or showcase, all right? So what should we expect out of a college camp? Well, if it's one of those fun ones for middle schoolers, like have fun. I think at NC State they open up the hose that they spray water on the infield with, and they spray all the kids, right? Because it's usually hot, it's usually humid in the middle of the summer, right? So that's something that's like fun for these middle schoolers, right? The prospect camps, expect almost like a practice vibe, right? You're going to be taking a good amount of reps. You're going to be doing infield, outfield drills. You're going to be doing scrimmages. You're going to be doing, live BPs. You're going to be doing, bullpens. You're going to be doing a lot of cage work, on-field BP, things to get more reps in, which is great because that's going to be more of that practice vibe. Now, showcase, on the other hand, completely opposite vibe. Showcases are truly, you get like 8 swings of live BP. Maybe take like, you get like one scrimmage, I believe. You run the 60-yard dash twice, I believe. You make some throws from the outfield if you're an outfielder. You make some throws from shortstop if you're an infielder. If you're a first baseman, you throw to third. And then catchers throw down. And basically, that's that, right? It's not much. On-field BP is the last thing, I believe, and then scrimmages, right? So typically the first thing that you'll do is like the 60-yard dash. And if you don't have a good 60-yard dash, which we'll get into the metrics here in a second, that's going to be one of the first tests where if these college coaches are going to put a line through your name, or if they're going to be like, okay, I'm going to circle this name because I want to see more, right? It's a good test to see if you are an athlete. College coaches love athletes, all right? So that's why it's really important. So yeah, the showcases are, it's going to feel like you're not getting a lot of work done, and that's fine because really that's going to be completely guided for evaluation and not necessarily getting reps in like a college camp would be. All right. So moving down the list, are travel teams important? This is one very, very vital question that I get asked just about every single day. Yes, travel ball is very important. That's the reason I was able to land a college commitment from NC State. I pitched extremely well at an East Cobb tournament in a WWBA, one of the big summer tournaments, right before my senior year of high school. So I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I was playing on FTB. The entire team, other than 2 guys, were committed. I was one of them, all right? So right after a very good game I pitched, for those that don't know, I was a two-way. I actually committed to NC State more or less because of my pitching abilities, not necessarily my infield abilities. But I pitched a really good game in the Final Four, a complete game shutout on like 70 pitches. NC State coach Chris Hart was there, and right after the game, my FTB coach Jared Goodwin shook my hand and said, basically, now you get to choose where you want to play college baseball. I thought that was the coolest moment of my entire career, and it came true. Within a week, I had offers from my top 3 schools: Rice, UVA, NC State. NC State just felt like home, right? So a week or 2 later, I went ahead and committed, and took my talents over to the Wolfpack. So yes, travel ball is important. I don't think many college coaches are going to really recruit you out of high school unless you are at a top program in high school. So, where do these events fit into the recruiting process? And this is a great question because it is something that I think you guys need to understand the timeline of things. Do you want to be doing showcases your freshman year? Probably not. My first ever showcases was actually my freshman year, though. So am I contradicting myself? Maybe, right? But my first ever showcase, if anything, it's what I talked about right up here. Is it worth it, right? Absolutely, because my first ever showcase, I think I ran like a 9.8 second 60. Almost a 10-second 60, guys. And if you have no idea about the 60-yard dash, you want to be close to 7 seconds, right? If you can get under 7 seconds, you're considered a high-performing athlete. I've only been under 7 seconds like twice in my career. And the most recent time was like a year or 2 ago when I was with the Padres. They got me at 6.97, so right under. But guys, it's really important to understand like the 60-yard dash is something that's really important. And I understood that at a very young age that I was like this third slowest guy at the event. And I was like, whoa. And that was a showcase between, freshmen through seniors. And there's some guys that were hitting home runs. And I got very, I got a fire that got burnt under me because I was just like, whoa, the talent that's out there is beyond good. And I'm not that good. I thought I was good. I'm not that good, right? So if anything, that showcase was a good experience my freshman year. Was I ready for that? No. Do most players, turn a corner like the way that I did? Probably not. So is your son going to be one that goes to a showcase, realizes he's one of the worst players there, and then turns a corner and works extremely hard and actually changes his future? Possibly. I don't know your son, right? You do, though. So that's where I like to say save showcases to around sophomore, a lot of the times junior year and senior years, right? That's going to be when you're developing out your skills a lot better, and you're going to be in a better position to be able to, show these college coaches what you've got, right? So I would say, college camps and showcases 100%. Wait until probably sophomore, junior, and senior year. Most of them junior year, because that's going to be when a lot of things are going to start happening. And of course, you're watching this video so you become prepared for the recruiting process come your junior year. Next up, we're going to talk about some metrics that I think you should have in order to be prepared to play at the next level. So these are going to be just very simple metrics like the 60-yard dash. You want to be under really 7.2 seconds. You can get away. I ran a 7.4. You can get away. Arm velo, we want to be around 85 miles per hour, and this is off of a mound, out of the outfield, across the diamond, any type of velo. Exit velo, hitting, we want to probably be at least 90 or 95 miles an hour off of a tee. What else? What else? What else? These are probably the biggest ones. We can talk about GPA. GPA, I'd say probably just greater than 3.0. This is going to tell these college coaches that you can get it done away from the field. As far as like SAT, ACT, I don't know what it was back in the day. I think it was 3-part. I think it's now changed to 2-part. I don't entirely know what's going on. This isn't the most important thing. It does help. Again, I'm not going to just like blindly shoot a dart right here and know exactly what the SAT, ACT scores should be. Really, it's more or less on your GPA, and of course, if you can get it done up here in the metrics side of things. All right. I always like to say, because this is something that I actually like to teach inside the academy, the 5-10-5. And if you don't know what the 5-10-5 is, that is okay. I would say if you're around like a 4.6 seconds or less, that would be great. That means you are considered an athlete, right? So those are some metrics that you can look forward to for your player to see if basically he's ready or not. Moving down the line, how can they stand out? Shaking hands, right? Quick, and then also make sure that you understand like when to do this, right? If you see a college coach eating lunch, probably not the best time to shake his hands as he's eating a burger. His hands are all dirty. Let him have his piece, right? If he's on the phone, probably not the right time. If it's just like a wave and like, hey, how's it going? My name's Evan Mendoza. Just wanted to introduce myself. Have a good day. You want to make it in passing, if anything, guys. And then if they come to you, obviously be mature and hold the conversation for yourself. I always think it's so much more valuable if you can hold the conversation rather than your parents. So I know the parents are probably watching this video right now. Hopefully I didn't make you guys mad, but it is something that's important. I was always kind of in the shadows of my mom having conversations for me, and I really didn't like that. So also, what is this recruiting video? What is this going to do? The highlight video, does it even help? This is something that's ultra important. It helps these college coaches just ultimately see how you move. It's nothing more than that. It's going to help them decide on if they want to come out and see any of your games in the summer ball circuit, maybe in fall ball. Maybe if you're a local guy, they'll come to your high school games. But to be honest with you, these videos need to be cut up and edited in a proper way. And you don't want to waste these college coaches' time. So like the initial time, probably less than 30 seconds, highlighting the best moments that you've ever had in your baseball career, probably in the past couple of years, right? Which requires your parents, yes, you, to record some videos of your son when he's playing. It's really hard to get defensive footage, and I understand that. Don't worry about that. Really, the most important thing, if your son's a pitcher, get a couple of innings pitched recorded. It doesn't have to be a 20-minute video, right? If it's just a couple of pitches, that's great. Again, we can chop it up in what I call post-production to be able to edit it in a proper way. Also, different angles always helps. And then also, if your son's a hitter, obviously get some of his bats, get some of his hits, some of his best hits. We'll include that into a video to send out to these college coaches. Now, if you want a direct path on your player to become a college prospect and fully understand this recruiting process, go down below in the description and book a call with me. On that call, we can discuss where you guys are currently at, where you're trying to go, what immediate changes I would personally make if I was in your son's shoes, and how I can help inside my Mendoza Baseball Academy.